the year I should travel to was the year 4000. So I found myself face to face with aliens.
This man claims to have been to the year 4000 and met with actual aliens. We met up with the man in an undisclosed location as he told us his story. You will not believe what he saw. Watch this and decide for yourself.
My name is Ranjek Djokovic. I'm from Lithuania. I'm 60 and I want to share my thoughts with you. People usually keep something unusual and forbidden in secret for a long time, but once they want to share with somebody. Let me be your guest today. First of all, I'm glad to say that I lived in the USSR, which was the biggest country in the world with 15 socialist republics including Ukraine, Belarus, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Lithuania, Latvia, and etc. It was governed by Communist Party with equal status among different nations. It was great and powerful country with its culture, religion, economy, and traditions. And pay attention, the Soviet Union was one of the 5 recognized nuclear weapons states. It had weapons of mass destruction. The former Russian Empire existed from 1922 to 1991. Why I tried to tell you about it? Because the KGB, the Committee for State Security, it was very great main security agency at that time. It was a military service. Everything was under strict control of it. Yeah, maybe you heard the 3 letters KGB. Anyway, let me introduce myself. I was an engineer of mechanical engineering. When a young, I was very happy to my favorite job. It was extremely interesting and exciting. Our general engineer, David Meladze, was a very clever man with many dangerous and secret ideas. I was in a close touch with him. We were the participants of many conferences where different scientific questions were discussed. We didn't know very much about our universe, about many classical definitions such as wormhole, black hole, curved space-time, time machines, and other things. Our universe is very huge. There are very unknown in our galaxy waiting us to explore. Everybody wanted to know about our solar system, about aliens, but it was forbidden very much. And during news release conference, we knew about the Hubble telescope, through which could be seen space with many billions light years far away from our planet. We understand that we and aliens are very small things in comparison with the universe. That's why we try to find each other. Of course, many people don't agree that aliens exist, but we believe in it because many evident witnesses saw the creatures like aliens. I can't agree with the idea that we are all alone in this huge universe. In my opinion, there is life outside our planet. I have read very much about alien. I saw many pictures and strange aliens photos. It was the great reason of our research to discover them. My friend David Meladze and me decided to go deep in our researches. In 1980s, I was sent as an intern to one of the company, the Tula Scientific Center. The topic of seminar was space as the source of solar energy. I remember it as it was yesterday. Nobody knew about my going to the seminar, except Meladze. I had only 3 days to learn everything about satellite laser installation and went back with information. Because in 3 days, that satellite with modern equipment had to be sent to space for scientific research of solar energy. And I thought it was the only chance to travel by spaceship. I never imagined to fly in space to see our galaxy, to meet other creatures there. Under Soviet security system, it was impossible to dream about something unusual and fantastic. Soviet intelligence worked very clearly. I was talking about my researching, which I had to do in 3 days. I went and I couldn't even imagine that there is such a technical solutions. It was really exciting for me. There was one secret point. David told me to take one gadget called Eye of Nebula. I shouldn't steal it, I just had to read and remember the technical specifics of that gadget. You will ask why David didn't go there instead of me. There were 2 reasons. First, I was younger and could go there like a volunteer. Second, in Tula, the technical center, they hated David Meladze as much as it was possible, It was because of David's character. Despite the fact of his supreme professionalism, he could never work with people he simply didn't like. Yes, it sounds weird, but what can I do? We had what we had. And because he was genius engineer, he could have some strange things. You agree with me? As they say, people are equal, but genius ones are out of comparison. So I did what I had to do. I learned the Eye of Nebula. In general, I knew already the characteristics of it, but there were some rather new connections I had never seen before. I don't want to explain it now because most of you will not know the terms and details. Anyway, I can just say that they did something incredible, and that was really new way of thinking for that period of time. Even for nowadays, it is very futuristic. Just for you to have some imagination about it, I can say that it was working wireless. Yes. Just imagine that like 40 years ago, there was made a gadget which could send information in wireless way. I can say for sure that Wi-Fi you are using now, even with the most powerful connection, is slower than the Eye of Nebula. It had a huge space to save information data in it. That thing was very small, like an ordinary size of your smartphone you are using now. But despite it, it had over 1000 terabytes database in it, which could send information code to another gadget like it. Okay, let's finish the description of that specific gadget and return to main story of mine. So, as you remember, I should give information about it to my old friend, Mr. David Meladze. As I knew after, he wanted to make two big versions of that equipment to transfer information up to 10 exabytes per second. It's unbelievable even now when we live in 21st century. A century of technical developments, inventions and startups. Okay, we're coming to the start of most interesting part in my story. We met 4 days, and I told Meladze what I saw and learned. After that, he was gone for 2 weeks, and I lost him. Then he started to come to work as usual at 7 a.m. Of course, I was asking him about the project with those huge eyes of nebulas. But after I got not satisfying answers, I decided to keep silence. 2 months passed. Suddenly, he called to my home telephone and came to my home. Finally, it was clear to me. He was working on top secret project called Unity. That was the code name of it. Meladze told me that the start of the project would be in 3 days, but before it, he wanted me to be the first human in future. Without any discussion, we went to the laboratory. In the car on the way, he was talking about his invention in such a manner as if he created a new galaxy. I was chosen by him because he appreciated me as a friend. I did much work for that project, even I didn't know about it. And because he knew that the theme, time traveling, was my passion. My thoughts were real. He wanted to create 2 huge generators to make everything into atoms, after make it energy, and finally put it in informational usage. Yes, he put me between the 2 huge eyes of nebula and started the engine by pushing the green button. Yes, he was loved green color very much. The year I should travel to was the year 4000, and I want to emphasize that I would be the first time traveler, and non-official of course. I was standing in position and felt how my parts were going to little parts and information. Suddenly I lost my conscience and then I fell asleep. So I found myself face to face with aliens. What did they want? Why did they take me out to space? What could I do there alone? I didn't know their language. I couldn't understand their orders. They gave me an injection. My conscience left me, and when I opened my eyes,